Welcome to this overview of working with Rule 107 incidents and defect cards in Railinc's damaged and defective car tracking system known as DDCT. Rule 107 covers the handling of damaged or destroyed equipment, disposition, settlement, and actual depreciated value or settlement value. Refer to the field manual of the AAR interchange rules for detailed information about this rule. This diagram shows the basic flow of the Rule 107 process. The handling carrier creates the Rule 107 incident and creates a defect card as needed, manages disposition and requests actual depreciated value ADV with the car mark owner, and moves the car for repairs to the designated location if needed. The receiving shop then reports the car on hand and reports the repairs to DDCT to close the incident. Log in to Launchpad and navigate to DDCT. If you have questions about logging in, watch the DDCT Getting Started video that is part of this video training series. A pop-up box appears asking you to select the company you represent. Let's walk through the process of creating a Rule 107 incident. As we saw in the diagram, whenever handling line damage occurs or defects are discovered, an authorized handling carrier user must create an incident to begin tracking. From the DDCT menu bar, select Incidents, Create Incident. The New Car Incident page is displayed. The default incident date is the current date. Use the calendar icon or enter a date to change the date of the incident. Select Rule 107 from the Interchange Rule drop-down. Select an incident type. As seen here with the location, split, and equipment fields, many input fields in DDCT include sample text or tips as a quick reminder of the expected input format. Enter a location split or use the magnifying glass to look one up. Enter the specific equipment initial and number. There is a limit of 200 equipment IDs per Rule 107 incident. Select Continue. A yellow message is informational and may be a caution that requires some action before you can continue. In this case, an override of the DDCT possession check is needed if the equipment is in possession of the handling carrier on the incident date. DDCT verifies the accuracy of the entered information and displays equipment information. In cases where more information must be gathered to complete the Rule 107 incident, you may select the Save Draft button. This will allow you to resume from this point in the process. To add a defect to the equipment, select the wheel icon in the Action column. Select Add Edit Defects. A blue message provides information on how to use a feature. Scroll all the way down to View Defects A through Z. Choose the appropriate defect code by selecting the checkbox next to your selection. Enter a description of the damage. For Rule 107 incidents, incident notes are optional. Select the Save button. The Damaged Car Incident Details page is redisplayed. If more than one equipment ID is included, repeat the previous steps. Select Create Incident. A message is displayed confirming the decision to request disposition. If ready to create the incident and request disposition, select Yes. The incident is created and the handling carrier must request disposition ADV. Select Done to exit the Damaged Car Incident Details page. Notification is sent to the car mark owner. The estimated depreciated value is returned based on values entered in UMLR. This does not affect the car owner's ability to provide actual depreciated value for the car. The handling carrier may remove and/or add cars at this point. The next step in the process is for the handling carrier to request that the car mark owner provide actual depreciated value, DV, and disposition for the car. The handling carrier selects Damaged Cars, Request Actual DV Disposition from the DDCT menu bar. The Request Actual DV Disposition page is displayed. Complete all of the fields on this page. Type in the damaging carrier's contact name or select the magnifying glass icon to search for a valid contact name. Type in the contact telephone number, including the area code. Type in the contact's email address. If the contact is registered in findus.rail, the fields are auto-populated. Select Add Equipment. Type in the equipment IDs on the resulting page. Select Submit. The Request Actual DV Disposition page is redisplayed showing the already completed fields and some additional fields that need to be completed. Modify the contact information as needed. If the contact is registered in findus.rail, the fields are auto-populated. Check the box beside the car and complete the following information. Type in the stick of loaded equipment, the last contained stick if empty, or select the icon to search for a valid stick. Choose empty or loaded from the drop-down. Select yes or no for whether the car can travel on its own wheels. Optionally complete the disposition note field, in which you choose whether the car will be sent to the shop or has been sent to shop from the disposition notes drop-down. Optionally type in the shop mark or select the magnifying glass icon to search for a valid shop mark. Select Request Actual DV Disposition and then select Yes to confirm. A green success message indicates a successful submission and in this case shows that your request has been sent to the car mark owner. You will be notified of the actual DV disposition when provided by the car mark owner. The status changes to Actual DV Disposition Requested. If you receive a red message, this indicates an error in your entry and you cannot proceed until the entered information is valid. Correct any errors and select the Request Actual DV Disposition button again. Then select Yes to confirm. If no actual DV disposition is provided within 15 days, car hire liability is transferred to the car mark owner until the owner can provide disposition for the car. Reminder notifications are sent. Select Done. When notified of the request for disposition for a damaged car, a car mark owner can provide a response in DDCT. To provide disposition, select Damaged Cars, Provide Actual DV Disposition from the menu. A list of pending damaged car incidents is displayed. Select the Equipment ID link to provide disposition for the cars matching the received notification. The Actual DV Disposition page is displayed. Select the Calculate button to begin the process to calculate the actual DV. The Settlement Value Statement page is displayed. The incident detail information at the top of the page, equipment type, car mark owner, incident ID, equipment ID, incident date, ADV request date, SPLC, and location is pre-populated. Ensure each of the fields on this page are completed. Most of the fields are pre-populated with information from UMLR and DDCT. Equipment built on, rebuilt on. This field is pre-populated from UMLR. It is editable. If changed, cost factors are updated. Weighing is pre-populated from UMLR. Original cost is pre-populated from UMLR and it is editable. Cost factor for year built is pre-populated from DDCT and it is a percentage. Cost factor for year prior to damage is pre-populated from DDCT and it is a percentage. Base reproduction value, A times B or C. This is based on UMLR and DDCT data. It is pre-populated. Optionally select the type drop-down to select one or more applicable additions or betterments. These are fully described in the user guide. For date, enter a date of the value from the type field. For description, enter a free-form description of the type. For cost, enter the cost without a $ or any punctuation. Select Add to add the type to the calculation. Reproduction value, additions and betterments are calculated from the addition of types. Select Save and Continue. The Settlement Value Statement page is displayed. Complete the available input fields. The UMLR tare weight in pounds is brought forward from UMLR and it is editable. If you change this value, a message is displayed indicating that the UMLR weight was changed. Non-metallic weight in pounds is brought forward from UMLR, if available, and it is open for user input. Estimated salvage weight in pounds is the UMLR tare weight minus the non-metallic weight. Aluminum in pounds, you enter the weight of the aluminum in the equipment. For stainless steel in pounds, enter the weight of the stainless steel in the equipment. For standard steel in pounds, enter the weight of the standard steel in the equipment. U.S. credit rate is the rate from the current price master which is updated quarterly that is based on the incident date. This field is not editable. Credit value is the result of aluminum, stainless steel, and standard steel individual weights multiplied by the U.S. credit rate. Total salvage weight in pounds is the total weight of aluminum, stainless steel, and standard steel. It must equal the estimated salvage weight. Total salvage value is the total value of aluminum, stainless steel, and standard steel. Select Calculate. This totals all numbers, weights, and dollar amounts and moves you to the final page. The Settlement Value Statement page is redisplayed. Calculations are made from the data entered on the two previous pages. Select one of the values displayed on the Settlement Value Statement. In this case, we'll select Depreciated Value Method. Select Apply. The values are updated and you are returned to the DDCT disposition page, which now displays the depreciated value with the chosen depreciated value method. If, after reviewing the ADV that was calculated, you do not agree with the final figure, you may select the Calculate button again and recalculate the ADV. Or you may select the Override ADV option and key in an adjusted actual DV. Enter the reason that the calculated ADV was overwritten. Select a disposition option of Repair at Home Contract Shop or allow the handling carrier to provide a shop. If you choose to Repair at Home Contract Shop, provide at least one shop choice. Type in the shop ID, mark, and the SPLIC, or select the icon to search for a valid shop couplet. Shop couplet data is derived from findus.rail contact information. Select a radio button to indicate a final shop choice. Optionally, add notes. Select Continue and Yes. The actual DV disposition submit confirmation page is redisplayed with the confirmation of the submission. Notifications are sent to the handling carrier. Reminder notifications are sent for each car that remains in actual DV disposition provided status on a daily basis. The current states of the actual DV are shown as estimated, actual, or overridden. Select Done. After a handling carrier has viewed a car owner's actual DV disposition, the handling carrier can use DDCT to offer a settlement against that car. Select Damaged Cars, Offer Settlement, Handling Carrier Repair. The Offer Settlement Handling Carrier Repair page is displayed, which shows a list of pending incidents available for settlement. All equipment IDs with status equals actual DV disposition provided are listed. Only one equipment ID is listed if Offer Settlement was selected on the View Incident Car Information page after a single equipment search. Select the checkbox beside the appropriate equipment ID. Choose one of the following: Offer Settlement or Handling Carrier Repair. If you decide to accept the owner's DV for the damaged car and select Offer Settlement on the Offer Settlement Handling Carrier Repair page, a pop-up is displayed with a request to confirm the authorization. To confirm, select Offer Settlement. The pop-up is redisplayed with a green completion notification message and a notification is sent to the car owner. Daily reminder notifications are sent for each car that remains in settlement offered status. If no settlement exception or rejection is provided within 15 days, the settlement is automatically accepted. Select Close to return to the Offer Settlement Handling Carrier Repair page. Select Done to return to the home page. When a car owner is notified that a settlement for a specified car has been made, DDCT allows the owner to accept or reject the settlement. Select Damaged Cars, Accept Reject Settlement. The Pending Incidents for Accept Reject Settlement page is displayed. Select the checkbox to the left of the equipment ID. Select one of the following: Accept Settlement or Reject Settlement. A pop-up is displayed with a yellow message to confirm either the acceptance or rejection. To confirm, select Accept Settlement again. The pop-up is redisplayed with a green message indicating success of action. Notification is sent to the handling carrier. Select Close to return to the Pending Incidents for Accept Reject Settlement page. If no other equipment is pending settlement, a message is displayed. Select Done to return to the home page. Once the car mark owner accepts settlement, the incident is moved to an End status. If settlement is rejected, then the status of the car is changed to Settlement Rejected. The handling carrier will then honor the disposition provided by the car owner prior to the settlement offer or repair the car at the handling carrier's shop. When the handling carrier does not accept the owner's DV for the damaged car, that is, they plan to repair the car at their own shop, they select Damaged Cars, Offer Settlement, Handling Carrier Repair. The Offer Settlement Handling Carrier Repair page is displayed. Select the checkbox beside an equipment ID and then select Handling Carrier Repair. A pop-up is displayed with a request to confirm the authorization. To confirm, select Handling Carrier Repair. The pop-up is redisplayed with a green completion notification message. Select Close. Select Done to return to the home page. This completes the settlement process. The following procedures describe how to create a defect card associated with a Rule 107 incident and how to create a standalone defect card. As the handling carrier, if you need to add a defect card to a Rule 107 incident, for example to provide additional information after the incident has been created, select Search from the menu bar. Enter the equipment ID associated with the incident in the Equipment ID field. Make sure the From Date and the To Date fields encompass the time period when the incident was created. Select the Rule 107 checkbox. Select Search. Select the equipment ID associated with the incident for which you want to create a defect card. The card details page is displayed. Scroll to the bottom of the card details page and select Create Defect Card. The Create Defect Card page is displayed. Complete the following fields. If appropriate, check the Derailment Radio button. Enter the name of the railroad's authorized representative. Enter the authorized representative's station, city, and state or province. Optionally, enter a third-party reference ID or mark. Select the Add Defects button. The Manage Defects pop-up is displayed. Type in up to 20 known defects, scrolling down as needed to add more defects. Select the Save Changes button to return to the Create Defect Card page. Optionally, complete the roller bearings section. The default is None. If inspected, changed, or authorized to change, use the scrolling list to select the appropriate locations. Hold the Control key to select more than one item. Save the defect card by selecting Create Defect Card. Note that you can save the defect card as a draft if needed. The Confirm Defect Card Creation pop-up is displayed. Review the warning. Select Yes to confirm you are ready to proceed. A green success message is displayed on the Create Defect Card Success page. Select Done to close the page and complete the process. You are returned to the DDCT home page. If the Rule 107 incident has more than one car, repeat the previous steps for each car. A notification message is sent to the car mark owner. Alternatively, you can create a standalone defect card which is not associated with an incident. To create a standalone defect card, a handling carrier selects Defect Cards, Create Defect Card from the DDCT menu bar. The Create Defect Card page is displayed. Type in the equipment ID for which you want to create a standalone defect card and complete the following fields. Enter the name of the road's authorized representative. Enter the authorized representative's station, city, and state or province. Optionally, enter a third-party reference ID or mark. Select the Add Defects button. The Manage Defects pop-up is displayed. Type in up to 20 known defects, scrolling down as needed to add more defects. Select the Save Changes button to return to the Create Defect Card page. Save the defect card by selecting Create Defect Card. Note that you can save the defect card as a draft if needed. The Defect Card Information page is displayed. Select Create Defect Card again. The Confirm Defect Card Creation pop-up is displayed. Review the warning and select Yes to confirm you are ready to proceed. A green success message is displayed. Select Done to close the page and complete the process. You are returned to the DDCT home page. A notification message is sent to the car mark owner. Throughout each step of the DDCT process we've seen in this video, email notification messages are automatically sent to the involved parties. To receive these messages, users must be registered in Railinc's FindUs.Rail application. Short training videos on requesting access to FindUs.Rail and adding contacts are available on the FindUs.Rail page at Railinc.com. For more details about DDCT, refer to the DDCT documentation and videos by selecting the Documentation menu item. That wraps up this overview of working with Rule 107 incidents and defect cards in Railinc's damaged and defective car tracking system. Contact us for more information.